first time I ever saw him was in about 1938 or 1939, and he gave a shooting demonstration. He shot a Thompson submachine gun with the barrel, with the round drum magazine. And he shot it at a backstop that he and his brother had made. He usually spelled the letters EWB for Eugene W. Biscaluse. He usually spelled those letters with the Thompson. But the thing was that he took the submachine gun, which is an incredibly bad thing to try to fire, and he was so sharp that he had 3 cartridges left in the drum magazine, and he put those in as the punctuation marks behind the initials. He was such an interesting person. He told me that he managed an airfield in Gardena. Now this was in the early 20s, but he was only 18 years old. He told me he was an instructor pilot, and he was instructing an LAPD student. He was learning to fly. And Sewell had taken the guy up and given him the lessons, but he was coming into land, and his mechanic was standing in the middle of the runway holding up a wheel. And then he knew that his plane had lost a wheel on takeoff. And so he determined which side that the wheel was missing from. He had the pilot he was instructing, the student pilot, climb out onto the wing opposite from the wheel that he had lost. The man standing there kept it level along with Sewell's ability to fly, and he kept it level until the plane went slow enough that it would finally settle. If they'd have come in fast, or if he didn't know, that he could have ground looped and been killed. He said the student pilot was a little shook up from having to climb out onto the wing while they were in the air, but that was the kind of pilot he was. He apparently coerced the Board of Supervisors into paying for a helicopter from Bell. And I don't know that he'd ever even flown one. Sewell went back to Oklahoma to pick up the helicopter. He had the purchase order in his hands from the Board of Supervisors. And he went back. Now, as I said, I don't know whether he had ever flown a chopper or not. I suspect that he had, but maybe not as a student pilot or anything, but just fooling around. But he got back to Oklahoma, to Bell Helicopters, and he was instructed by the main pilot for Bell Helicopters. And he gave Sewell his test flights in the chopper. He may have instructed him, taught him how to fly it. Anyway, I saw a letter written by the test pilot, or the pilot for Bell Helicopters, was written to Mr. Bell that owned the factory. And it said when they have a power out and the helicopter in effect starts to drop. And he said that during that phase, that Sewell the Griggers did a better job of landing a dead stick helicopter than he, the instructor pilot, did himself. They had a station wagon and maybe a truck that carried fuel for the helicopter, and they drove along the highways, and Sewell flew above them in the chopper, and they flew that helicopter from Oklahoma, head chopped it all the way across Texas, up through New Mexico, and then across to Arizona or Utah, I don't know, or Nevada, whatever it was, into California. They flew it all the way back to Los Angeles, and Sewell flew it by himself.
Battalion 5B to First Assistant Chief. Battalion 5B to First Assistant Chief.
This is Chief Percy. Go ahead.
I think we've saved all the homes in the Zuma Canyon area, but the fires jumped the highway at Broad Beach and taken 2 big houses.
Chief Anderson to Zuma Station.
Go ahead, Harvey.
Ramera Canyon's getting too hot to hold. Gotta have 10 patrols to work around the houses right away.
Okay, Harvey. Did you hear that, Chief? Yeah. Ramera goes, Escondido Canyon will be next. No doubt about it. Ask the Sheriff's Office to evacuate Escondido Canyon right away.
Captain Sewell Griggers of the Sheriff's Aero Squadron has a bullhorn on his helicopter. He uses it to untangle traffic jams. This morning it is used for another purpose, as he flies low and slow up Escondido Canyon.
This is the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office. Escondido Canyon is in fire danger. Persons still in the canyon are ordered to evacuate immediately.
It's an honor to me to be even considered in the same class or mentioned in the same building as Sewell Griggers, because he was such an exceptional person, and that he will have a helicopter named after him in the Sheriff's Department is the finest honor I think that he could be bestowed upon him. I was honored to eulogize him at his funeral, and I'm honored just to mention his name. He was a fine, fine person.